Hey everybody, and welcome to the second episode of the Yak Tribe Kayak Fishing Show. I'm your host, my name is Heath, and I'm excited to be here today. Real quick, before we get into our caller, we're going to have Rex Del Rey from Action Hat on today. This is only our second episode, and so I wanted to kind of build on episode 1 and what we talked about in the beginning of that episode. So real quick, this will only take a second. I wanted to let you know two things. One, why we're doing what we're doing, and two, everybody who watches our show and engages with our show has the ability to win stuff, swag, okay? And so this show is a kayak fishing industry show. So we're going to be bringing on people who own companies, are manufacturers of products. Maybe they are just a everyday or weekend type fisherman. Maybe they're a tournament fisherman, kayak fisherman. And we're going to be telling their stories. That's what Yak Tribe's all about. Our motto has always been since 2015, real people, real stories, real connections. My wife and I and our family, our 2 sons, now we have 3 sons, we lived on the road for close to 3 years, just traveling around the United States and fishing with our members and doing meetups and events and things like that. And so we've settled down in the last few months, and we're now living back in my hometown, which is Tampa Bay or St. Petersburg, Florida, and it's good to be home. But now that we're not living on the road, I guess this is still my way to kind of showcase the people and highlight the people and their stories, to look past their kayaks, past their products, past whatever it is they do and learn about the people. And that's my passion, telling people stories, learning about people, and doing life. And so this is kind of my way. The Yak Tribe Kayak Fishing Show is my way to continue to do what we did while I was on the road, while we're stationed here at home. And so we're going to have Rex call in, but I just want to let you guys know right from the beginning, I'm so thankful for the fact that, 1, you're watching this show, and 2, that we have this platform to be able to do this. And I want to go ahead and set you guys up for success so that once this finally comes, you guys aren't super surprised by the deal, but we will not be talking about products and specs on this show. It's not about products, it's not about specs, it's about the people, but we will have products on the show. So you can see this is the Action Hat right here. And every show we're going to try and give away something. And so for this show, last show we gave away some Yak Tribe swag. For this show we're going to give away a Action Hat DIY kit, which is basically you can take your favorite hat and turn it into an action hat like this. And this thing floats and is awesome if you hold your GoPro. And we'll get to Rex here in a second. But we're going to be giving away products. And the way you can enter to get those products, maybe we bring on Bixby or Torqeedo or whoever it is, and though we won't be talking about the specific products and their specs, we might be giving away some of those things. The way you'll be receiving those products is by entering to win, and the way you enter to win is to, whether you're listening to this on a podcast, on the iTunes podcast app on your phone, or whether you are watching this on YouTube or on Facebook, engage with the content. Leave us a review, even if it's a bad review, and engage with us that way. You'll be entered to win, and we'll rock and roll from there. So, guys, thank you so much, and we are going to give Rex a call. Rex is one of my best friends in the industry. I know I said that about Chris Santoro. I have a lot of best friends in the industry. Growing up, I heard you can only have one best friend. That's not true because I have a lot of them, and I'm excited to bring Rex on. Him and I have done a lot of fishing together. He is Filipino, I'm half Filipino, so we connect on that level. He loves kayak fishing, I love kayak fishing, and we just have a lot in common. And so we're going to give Rex a call and learn a little bit about Rex and his life. So,
Heath.
Rex, what's up, bro?
What's going on, man?
Man, we are live on the Yak Tribe Kayak Fishing Show, and number 1, I just want to thank you for being here. And number 2, you are the second person we've ever had on this show.
Nice. Well,
yeah,
man.
man.
For having me on, brother.
Of course, man. So we're going to hop right into it. And I've got a string of questions for you. And as I explained in this podcast, vlogcast, if you want to call it YouTube, podcast, whatever you're watching or listening on, and in episode 1, the whole reason for why we do this show is to highlight the people, and that's why I wanted to have you on, because I know that's what you're all about. Obviously, you own Action Hat, and you have an awesome Fish Fresh, brand, and you guys seen that in my videos and other people's. You guys already know about the products. You've seen those things, and so the intent for the show is to bypass that kind of stuff and just talk about the people. So, bro, I got a bunch of questions for you, and I'm just gonna throw them at you, and let's just kick it. It's gonna be a little bit of a different show because it's not gonna be as formal, bro, because we know each other as just buddies.
And I got zero prep.
Yeah, you got zero prep, so it's not a formal show at all. So
Yeah.
let's get started, bro. All right, so question number one is, who is Rex? Why do you do what you do? What do you stand for, man? What's your why? I guess that's the question.
Man, that's a deep question to start off with, bro.
Yeah, bro. It gets easier from there, so I had to throw you the hard one at first.
No, man, you know what it is? It's like, I think everybody starts off like, I was just in this industry because they love fishing, right? And one of the things I quickly discovered, when I got back into fishing, is that it was just good therapy. And like, I was kind of going through like just I guess the best way to call it is like I was going through a little like depression stage in my life, and things weren't kind of. I just found myself unhappy, and then kind of one of the things you hear is like get into a hobby, like do something, and I got a kayak and a GoPro with my tax return, and I started going fishing, and I realized like once you're doing something, like your mind is clear, and when you're out on the water, all those worries are kind of left behind. You get recharged, and you get some fresh air, and you kind of go back to the regular world, kind of recharged and ready to go. So kind of experiencing that, I just wanted to share that. Like, that's why all my videos, like in my first few videos, like I didn't really talk. I just wanted to kind of share the experience of how much fun it is.
Right.
And I think that's really the tone that I approach most of my stuff with. It's just like, I just want to share the experience. No, I'm not giving out like tackle tips. I'm not giving out like techniques and strategies. Like, there's a lot of content out there for that. But what I really want to do is just show having fun. And I go out and have fun fishing with my friends and my family, meeting new people. And the real why is like, I think getting outdoors is good for the soul. And it's just an option, especially like in this digital world, to kind of just like zone out and binge watch Netflix. There's nothing wrong with that, but I'm saying like, if you really want some like good healing and good something good for the soul, something to help you grow, like getting out there outside and having adventures and living your life is what it's all about. So that's what I'm trying to share.
Yeah, man, there's been times when we've been on the water, and I think that's why we connect so well, is because when we're out there, yeah, like we flip on the cameras, right? Half the time we don't even use that footage because we forget like we're even out there filming. We're just having a good time. And like, okay, I guess I was not supposed to say this on like TV or anything, but we might skunk every once in a while when Shane sends us to a terrible location in Texas, but it's still a good time, man. And that's what it's all about, just getting out there, having a good time. And how is it that even after we have one of those days when it's not the best, that we still leave like recharged and fulfilled? You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it's just about getting out there.
Yeah.
So that's the whole thing. It's like, there was a time when I wouldn't release a video if I got skunked or if I caught a few fish.
Right.
But like, as I fish more with my friends and my family, it's like, so much of it is about just like the cutting up and just having fun outside.
Yep.
And I think people connect to that,
Yeah, and actually it's because of you, man. Like last time actually a few times ago, we were in Louisiana. I can't even remember which trip it is. It's like all our trips blur into one these days.
Yeah.
But you had said something one time, and it basically changed the trajectory of of all my videos and how I filmed, and that's where the Sarah Giles, Louisiana video came from, and that's how just more and more of the types of videos I started to release, which was, hey, you don't have to be the hero of your video. And I think that's why people like watching your content, is because you're always showcasing other people. And then once I started doing that, like not trying to be the hero and still releasing footage even when it wasn't the best day, I feel like I've gotten more engagement through that type of content than when it's buttoned up and fully produced.
Yeah, it's real. It's real.
Yeah, man. All right, let's move on to the next question, bro. And it is, why did you create Action Hat?
Well, so I got that Kayak and GoPro at the same time. And pretty much like, I really got into fishing and filming immediately. And I liked the POV angle. And then I was using the head strap, which I lovingly called the head thong.
I was going to say, if you didn't say it yourself.
And I hated it. Like, it was just like too constricting on the head. And then I found this product on the market. It was called the hat cam. And basically they just put a screw through a bill. They had this little attachment, like a little tripod screw. And I used that for a little bit. And then there was only one hole that went through it, and it was kind of front heavy. And then after a little while, like you'd be filming all day and you'd realize like the camera was like tilted to the left or right. So then I stopped using that, and then I just drilled my own holes through my own hats. I went and got a Live Live hat made, and I just drilled 2 holes, and I attached like this, GoPro attachment to it. And I was filming with that for a long time. And then I went out on my buddy's skiff. We had 3 people on the skiff. I was sitting on the cooler in the center. We come around a bend. The attachments to the cooler pop off of the deck, and I go flying over the edge.
Do you still have that footage?
And, well, here's the kicker. So the camera I had running on, which was like my custom Live Live hat, it flew off when I got dunked in the water. So like when I got thrown off, the boat came over me, and the prop was still running, and I'm like, dude, like it's just completely dark. So I'm like kind of feeling around under the hull of the boat. I'm just waiting for the propeller to stop. So luckily they pulled the kill switch, and then I'm literally trying to find the light and the edge. So I pop up on the side of the boat, and I realize like my Kosas and my GoPro are gone. So it was at that moment when I was like, oh, so like there's a little flaw, or there's a risk with this design, in that it's kind of front heavy and these things can fall off, and it obviously doesn't float. So we spent about an hour trying to find that GoPro, and it was like a $600 dunk. So after that, it's like that magic, here's a need moment, Right. And that's what really kicked it off, and me trying to prototype stuff and trying to figure out a solution for it. And I kind of went a year not using the POV angle, which I really like is my favorite angle. But I would use the head strap, and I wanted to do something that was a little bit safer for my GoPro to kind of ensure that it doesn't just get lost.
So you literally created the product through a almost death experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, not funny. Not funny, but yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. It's like it was kind of destined in my mind. At least that's how I played out. Like, I was supposed to make this product.
Right. Well, man, you did a good job at it. So
thanks, man.
Okay, so here's a little bit of a lighter question. Is from Yakfish Chris. Chris out of Philly.
Yeah.
Said, what's it like being Heath's cousin?
Well, I get to eat a lot. I don't think, it's like, here's the thing. Like, I consider you like a little brother.
Yeah.
Or I'm your young uncle, whatever. But man, it's like, Heath, like to answering. No, I know I'm talking to Heath, but answering Chris, like Heath's family, man, and it's cool. He's just like any cousin I'd have like back home. We hang out. I hang out with my little nephews, his kids, and we eat good. We hang out. We go fish. We talk about life. So it's like he's legit family.
Yeah, man. Same. So like when, and then you're adopted whenever you come to Pack.
I'm the adopted uncle.
Adopted Tito Rex, and so almost every video, if not every video of Rex's on at the pack location, or really if like I'm in Texas, my kids are in his video, and so they still sit in front of our TV in the living room and stream Live Live Now episodes and Fish Fresh episodes, and they just watch themselves on your channel and they love it.
That's so cool, man. I can't wait to meet the new one, bro.
Oh man, yeah, he actually has my hair like where it stands straight up, so he'll be
Poor
at
guy.
actually
Poor
he's,
guy.
he's not going to be at Ride the Bull. It'll just be me there, but
Yeah.
yeah, man, we'll see. We'll link up the whole fam soon, but all right, so we got another question from kayaking_Kennedy. He is out of Alabama. He is a guide out there. And so this question isn't just a question that he kind of threw out there. This is something that he is an entrepreneur of himself, and he's still kind of in the infant stages of that, you know. And so this is a question from the heart from him, and he's asking you, Rex. So it's, when did you decide to make the jump from corporate life to quote-unquote hustling, and was it gradual or all at once?
Okay. Well, it's actually both. Okay, so on the surface, like I legit, quit my job, my career, my salaried career of like 10 years, and I moved to Florida, got engaged, new house, everything. So I started a brand new life over that. And I figured, like, if I'm going to start a new life, I'll just start a whole new life in a different state. And so it was a flip of a switch in that manner. But the other side of it is, like, if you're an entrepreneur and you're looking to start a business, one of the best advice that I ever got was like, it's called learn on opium, and not on opium, but other people's money. And that little acronym is about working for another entrepreneur and kind of learning the ropes. And that's what I actually did. So kind of out of college, I went to go work for a startup beauty company. And then I grew with the business from a graphic designer to become marketing director, PR, creative. I kind of was just moved around to different director level positions, just kind of fill it in whatever need. And man, I got like a real crash course in all the business operations, from marketing to trade shows to setting up shipping, all that. And I say all that because I went into that opportunity letting them know that I want to start my own business. So it was a very gradual thing. Like before I started Action Hat, I started another company selling electronic cigarettes. And at that point, I kind of let them know, like, this is one of my businesses and this is something I kind of want to pursue. So then I started working with them to kind of hire my replacements as far as like marketing director, PR people, building a creative team so that I could be kind of in a less mission critical role. So it was gradual in that sense because I had always aspired to it, and I was just kind of waiting for the right time to do it. And it happened to be 10 years later when the Action Hat idea and Live Live idea really came to the forefront. And I was like, well, maybe it's my time to take that leap. So the answer is twofold. I got a lot of hands-on education through working for an entrepreneurial company. And what's cool about that is, like, I joined the company when it was they were doing 1.5 million in revenues, and when I left, it was like 10 million. And just keeping like a good relationship with that company, I'm still able to do contract work with them as needed. Whenever the business is slow and bills got to get paid, or I want to reinvest into bigger projects. So just keeping a good relationship and trying to leverage something into like a contract position. So, you have more than one, you have multiple ways of bringing in revenue and income whenever times are slow.
Yeah, man. And there's been times in my life where an old employer became a client. You can have contract work. There's nothing
Yeah, man.
There's nothing wrong with having contract work. I still have contract work these days, and I consider myself an entrepreneur and work for myself, except now what's crazy is that my employer has become my client. And so when you don't burn bridges and you just do a good job, and for the people who might be listening to Scott's question and thinking, man, how do I make that jump like maybe Scott did or Rex did, and what do I got to do? Well, the first thing I would say is don't burn your bridges ever, ever.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
people are still people, you know? And when if you try and go do your thing and make that jump all at once, and you end up screwing people that have taken care of you, you never know if that person could have turned into a client, because a lot of times they don't want to lose you, and you're like, they were so good at what they did. So while he's on his journey, how can we support him with work?
Yeah, yeah. And it becomes like a real win-win situation. And dude, what your point is so right on, because I'm gonna like kind of put myself out there. Like when I first, launched Action Hat, and I'm just gonna call Florida like a fail because I basically ran out of Florida. My personal relationship, kind of ended there. So I kind of came back to Texas, as like that whole venture in Florida was a big flop. So I kind of had to start over when I got back to Texas. And when I got back to Texas, like starting your own business, like there's a lot of pride that's associated with it when you first start it. Like, and a part of it is that same delusion that got you to like start the business and design the product that fueled you.
Yep.
Can also bring a lot of issues with pride. And I'll tell you, like, I didn't do contract work my first year back in Texas, or, I'd put in like half an hour a week, which was nothing. And my business suffered as a result because like I didn't know how to respond to like sales not being as good as I imagined they would be.
Right. Off the jump too.
I think you start a business and you immediately, you drink the Kool-Aid and you think you're going to be a millionaire any minute.
Yeah.
Like literally any minute.
Yeah.
And I sat around for a whole year, like avoiding contract work, saying, no, I have to do it through this business only. And it was through losing a lot of money and kind of just getting deeper in debt. I was like, hey, like, whose pride am I hurting?
Right.
It's like I can't just let this business like flop and me just sitting here like not doing what I need to do to take it to the next level. And if that means like picking up work, just you have to make it happen.
That's right.
So, and the irony of that is, there's two ways of looking at that stuff. It's like some people will say, focus 100% on one thing. Sure. I was focused 100% on growing Action Hat. But at the same time, you always need more money to grow and reinvest. Like if I'm going to have if I want to do $1 million in sales, I have to have $1 million in products to sell.
Exactly.
$1 million worth of products to sell. Like if you're on the product side. So whatever that cost is to build up $1 million of supply of products, that has to be funded, So,
and you have to eat at the same time.
And you have to eat. So the thing is like, be open to do work. Like, don't expect to just like come out the gate and be a millionaire. Like that's probably the most valuable, most humbling lesson that I've learned in the first 2 years of operating, Action Hat and Live Live.
Yeah. And when I first started Rizotech, which was Shannon and I's marketing company, I was working full-time for a marketing company back in Sarasota, Florida, as a young dude making good money and had nothing to show for it because Shannon and I was like, we were just married, so we were like, Applebee's, Chili's, ball out every night. Let's go to Orlando, go to the shoe outlet, get like 8 pairs of Nikes for no reason, And so we were like, I never really learned how to manage money as a kid, and so we were like balling so hard. And then when I was like, you know what, I'm done. I'm done with this job. I'm my own boss. I don't want to be a entrepreneur. I want to be an entrepreneur. And like, boom, made the jump, right? And when I made that jump, I was like, oh no, I don't need y'all. I don't need that contract work. Your boy's about to go make sales, about to get my own clients, about to get my own sites to build, my own clients to do search engine optimization. It's all, I don't need it until I'm like, Shannon's like, hey, so you got that bill money? And I'm like, we'll take it out of savings this month. And then next month she's like, you got that bill money? And I'm like, oh man, we don't got clients yet. Where's the clients
Yeah,
at?
yeah,
And
yeah,
so a lot of times when people start a business, and I think a lot of us go through this, we think that we just have to create the thing, create the business, create the product, and the
yeah,
people will come. But it's not like that. So when you don't make $100,000 your first month, you're like, that's it. What's going on here? And
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you can spiral into a mode of depression. But I would just say for the young entrepreneurs or anybody who might be thinking about it or has been doing it for the longest time is you have to take that and you have to roll with it and just realize that we're not entitled to anything when it comes to
Yeah.
business. And we can create something that we think's awesome that the public might think totally sucks, and we have to
Yeah.
eat that and we have to roll with that. And one thing that
Well, I
you and
mean,
I okay, go ahead. I was gonna say one thing you and I talk about a lot is that when you become a business owner, you don't just become a business owner, you assume the job of a marketer.
yeah, it's marketing.
Hmm.
You got to learn marketing. You got to learn sales, and kind of stepping away from like a corporate structure. You don't have all those operations in place. Like you're legit every department under the sun.
Everything.
So it's like you got to do the full operation from creating the product to marketing it to closing the sale to shipping the product until you can actually grow and scale out. But being a business owner is a whole different lifestyle, and it's literally like a eat what you kill lifestyle. It's just like going out to hunt every day. Like you got to bring home the food. With a salary or hourly job, you can kind of guarantee X amount is going to come in.
Right.
But once you become a business owner, it's like you live a whole different way.
Hmm.
And that is probably the hardest transition to make if you're not if you don't really understand what that's about. And that's why a lot of people who kind of just like were always selling stuff and kind of like tussling growing up, like starting a business is like, it's an easy transition because they know the ups and downs and they know what it means to get up in the morning and try to get their bread.
Right. And so this next question actually ties in perfectly to what we've just been talking about. And this is from at Kayak DIY. You know Justin?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is from him, and it says, what things do you do to ensure you are prioritizing family since the entrepreneur mindset can easily consume us all? How do you disconnect your brain from work life and connect to family? I'm struggling and looking for any tips, even if they seem small and trivial.
Man, wouldn't we all like to know that?
Wouldn't we like to know, bro? Wouldn't we like to know?
Man, no, I've actually been seeking this a lot, and I was listening to a podcast the other day, and this kind of came up, and it was like they were talking about multitasking. How multitasking is not necessarily like a good thing. So one of the takeaways from that is like put away your phone when you're hanging out with the fam.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I think Justin's got a new kid. I think yeah, he's got a new kid.
He does.
So I'm sure
He does.
So I'm sure he's like taking care of the baby, and he's like on his phone checking out analytics and looking at the comments coming in from YouTube and making this post. And I know me and you are super guilty of that because we're always trying to multitask, and we talk about like getting in a kayak, paddling out, and taking conference calls and stuff, which is cool, right?
Yeah.
Because sometimes you got to multitask, but when it comes to family, like your family needs your attention. Like I don't have like an immediate family, meaning like I don't have a wife and kids, but I'm out here in my property and I've got four nephews. I mean, three nephews and one niece. Little kids who just want to hang out with Tito Rex. So it's like when I'm teaching them stuff or hanging out with them, like I put away my phone because it's like I want to give them the attention. Or when I'm hanging out with my folks and visiting with them and kind of talking to them about stuff, like I put away my phone, and that to me has allowed me to kind of get back and be present with the people that are important. Because the whole irony of the phone thing is like, sure, you can work from anywhere and you can work remotely, but like being able to work when it's time to work and then hang out with the fam when it's time to hang out with the fam, it's easier said than done. But I think the most tangible thing you could do is just like, even if it's for 30 minutes, just put the phone away for 30 minutes and just hang out with your people.
Right. There's always going to be a fire that needs to be put out, and that's something that I struggle with, even myself, because a lot of people think it's like, so obviously you make $1 million off of Yak Tribe, okay? So awesome, and it's like, no, like I have clients I have to maintain, and I have websites I have to maintain, and so when anything happens, I'm the go-to guy, and when an email hits my inbox, it isn't like, hey, just wanted to say, hope you're having a great day. It's like, hey, Heath, there's this problem that we need fixed now,
Yeah.
And so I'm always on my phone to put out that fire. And so sometimes I literally have to take my phone and go put it in my bedroom and walk out my bedroom and spend time with my kids. Because with your nieces and nephews, like that email, you might like piss somebody off a little bit by not responding within the first 10 seconds. But these kids, man, like once you and I are gone, these are the memories they have with Tito Rex and with Heath and with Dad. And so it's super important that we can discern when to put down the technology and just spend time with our family and live in the moment,
Yeah, and when you look at like the net result of it, I mean, sir, there's definitely work, like important work related things. Like you have to cut it off and go handle business, right?
Right.
But I think the truth is a lot of times it's just BS, man. It's like you're responding to a comment on Facebook, and you're putting the people that are important to you aside to go respond to some acquaintance or some random person who's commenting on something, and it gets you all worked up, and then you're not doing good work, and you're not spending time with the fam. So it's like you just got like the best way to choose to hang out with your family is to put away the phone when you're hanging out with the fam. And I think that sets a good example, with them where they know it's family time and they're not on their phone either.
Right.
Like
right.
we're doing something.
Exactly.
So,
well, man, I got about 2 more questions for you, maybe 3. And so we'll blow through these ones real quick. And this next one's not a question. It's more of a statement.
Yeah.
I heard you used to be a rapper.
Used to be a rapper.
Used to be, bro. You still is.
No, the way I do rap nowadays is different, man. It's just like, I know I used to rap. I was a rapper since I was 16, and we used to rap about BS, like standard rap stuff. And I've just been a big fan of the hip hop culture. Like I grew up with people break dancing, graffiti, like some of my first, memories in the Philippines was watching my brothers and cousins breakdance at my sister's debut for 18,
Yep.
And they were breakdancing in the streets. So like my childhood music was like hip hop, like old school hip hop. I was born in 1980, so like 1985, like when you're first like really forming memories, you're like 5 years old, and those memories are sticking with you. It was like people breakdancing. So I grew up in hip hop culture, and I moved to the US and really got into hip hop, and to the point where I started like rapping. But I really like the storytelling behind it. I like the idea of the come up and the hustle, and that's what I really love about being a hip hop, like a true hip hop fan. But nowadays, it's just like that's something I can do, and it's just a kind of cool way to connect and express ideas and like kind of have fun, So it's not like I'm doing something that I didn't do before. I'm just kind of adapting what I used to do before and kind of applying it to like going outside. Like my messaging is different, It's like going outside, like I'm having fun with fishing and doing more promotional light stuff instead of like hardcore. I never did hardcore rap, but you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Non-traditional like hip hop.
Right. Rex, I'm going to leave you with one last question before we sign off here. And it's a deep one, but it's something that I guess I really want to know, and other people probably want to know, and it's this. What does success look like to you? When have you officially made it?
Bro, I've legit been thinking about this because like I know you know how it is, man. Like business is seasonal. Like I missed ICAST and I wanted to do the show in McAllen or the New Orleans show, but like my inventory wasn't here, so it didn't make sense for me to do those shows. And it's like trying to catch up with the finances, and there's always cash flow issues with business, especially if you're trying to grow, like I had mentioned earlier. But I have to do a lot of time, so I was bummed out, like I couldn't go there. And a lot of times I'm thinking like, man, what is success? But during this time I kind of just dug in, and I was like, well, if I can't like really push action out right now, let me focus on doing fish fresh. And I've been doing out like busting out these like videos to kind of really communicate what the design idea is about. So like through that whole process, I kind of lifted myself out of this funk that I had through doing and through creating. So one thing I wrote down a long time ago is like the real definition of success to me is like autonomy. And what autonomy means to me is like that I can work when I'm inspired and then go get inspired when I'm not. So that is really like what I try to go back to every time I'm in a funk. It's like I'm looking at this laundry list of things I could be doing to help grow the business, and then I focus on something. If I'm not inspired, I go focus on that one thing that I am inspired to do, and then I go knock it out, and then it builds momentum. So to me, it's like when I look at that, I feel like I am successful because I can prioritize my time to work on something that I feel is important to me right now, or the thing that's most inspiring to me. And if I'm in a funk, I can go fishing and kind of get recharged, and that's all part of the game,
Right.
Or I can go, I have the autonomy to go get inspired if I'm not feeling good about creating.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So to go get inspired when you're not, and to work when you're inspired, that to me is like the definition of success. And that all traces back to having the autonomy of your time. Not necessarily like, I think if people won the lotto, like the majority of people would do nothing,
Yep.
Like, I think if I won the lotto, and I'm not sitting there trying to win the lotto, I'm saying like, I would fill my time doing stuff that inspires me and makes me feel good and feel alive. So having the autonomy of being in business, that's what I try to do.
Well, that is a awesome and great definition of success, man. And everyone's definition of success is different. So I'm going to try and ask that question to a lot of the business owners.
Question.
Yeah, a lot of the business owners that we have on this show. So, Rex, man, it's always good catching up. I will see you in a few weeks, man. And honestly, man, it's a blessing having you on. Really appreciate it. And I know the Yak Tribe and kayak fishing community is definitely going to benefit just listening to the realness of just these questions and answers. And it's not about sales, man. It's not. I mean, obviously we need sales, but in our businesses to survive. But the show is not about sales. It's about the people. And I think today was a good show, man. So I appreciate it.
No, I appreciate you, Heath,
Of course.
and everything to do with Yak Tribe, man. It's like I definitely feel like I'm a big part of Yak Tribe.
Yep.
As far as like what community is about and what real people are about, and I'm really proud of all the work you're doing. I think this show's going to be awesome, and I'm looking forward to hearing all the different episodes and all the different folks you got on, man. So,
All right, y'all. Well, that was Rex Del Rey with Action Hat. Super cool guy, and I hope you guys benefited from just listening to the realness. And guys, leave me feedback. I need to know the direction of the show and how you guys are liking it and how you guys are taking it. And do you guys like listening to entrepreneurs like Rex? Are there better questions that I could be asking them so that maybe you guys could benefit a little bit more from hearing about their life and their story? Guys, that's the end of our show. That's all we got. We went a little longer than we like to, but man, when you get a guy like Rex on the phone and talking, it's cool to go past the 30 minutes. So Rex, thank you so much for being on the show. And again, I just want to let you guys know we are giving away a action hat DIY kit, so you can turn your favorite hat into an action hat. It comes with the floats, it comes with the mounts, it comes with the bolts, it comes with everything that you need to take your action cam and mount it to your most favorite hat, so you can get that footage while you're on the water, or not even on the water, but out just filming and doing stuff. So in order to be entered to win that, all you have to do is engage with what we're doing. I'll be looking at comments, I'll be looking at the reviews on our podcast, okay, whether on iTunes and our podcast there. Please leave us a review. Please leave us some comments. I want to engage. I want to make this show the best that it can be so it benefits you guys in the end. So that is our show. I want to know who you guys want on next. Who do you want to see next on the show? I know that next we'll have Vance from Line Cutters for episode 3 of the Yak Tribe Kayak Fishing Show. Got some great questions for him. That should be a good time. Dropping next Monday, so stay tuned. We drop on Mondays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you have some questions that you want answered or you want talked about on our show, go to yak-tribe.com/contact, and you will see us on there. Go ahead and fill that out. Drop us a question, or move on over to our Instagram at Yak Tribe and shoot us a DM there. I love to give you guys credit for the questions that you're asking. So guys, that's the end of our show, the Yak Tribe Kayak Fishing Show, episode number 2 with Rex Del Rey from Action Hat. My name is Heath. I'm the host of this show, and I will see you guys next week.